At dinner, my mom said, "Your twins can eat cheap food. I'm not wasting money on them," while ordering truffle plates for my sister's kids. After she uninvited them from a Disney trip, my lawyer revealed her theft, and the court battle that followed ended our family for good. Hey Reddit, my mom's always played favorites, right in my kids' faces. So I finally drew a hard line, protected my twins, and made sure she couldn't control another dollar meant for them. But she wasn't done stirring the pot. Before we get to that, let me start from the beginning. The hostess greeted my mom like royalty. Full smile, direct eye contact, the works. Then she glanced at my wife Kate and our twins like we were the overflow nobody planned for. "Reservation for 7 under Walker?" the hostess asked, looking only at Mom. Mom smiled. "Yes, that's correct." The hostess frowned slightly, counting heads. "I'm showing 9 people here." "Oh," Mom said with a little laugh. "I must not have mentioned Lee's twins. Can you squeeze them in?" Squeeze them in. At a dinner she'd invited us to. The hostess's smile tightened. "Let me see what I can do." They put Melissa's family in the good corner booth and shoved us into a tiny table jammed right beside it, close enough that Mom could reach across. The twins, AJ and Clem, were still in their soccer uniforms, grass-stained and exhausted. 7 years old and already learning what being an afterthought feels like. "My name's Lee. I'm 34, work as a commercial insurance adjuster. I spend my days assessing damage and determining who's responsible." Funny how that translates. Kate's parents, Alvin and Joan, had offered to come. "Moral support," Alvin said, voice tight like he knew what was coming. I'd waved them off. Thought maybe this time would be different. Wrong. A Jay's my little goofball, named after his grandpa Alvin. Kid's pure energy. Clem, short for Clementine, is my sweet pea. Quieter, but twice as sharp. They're twins with that bond where if you hurt one, you've hurt both. My sister Melissa is 36, been the golden child since birth. Growing up, if Melissa broke something, it was, "Lee, why weren't you watching her?" I stopped expecting fairness around 12. She married Daniel, the type who always looks like he's about to explain why you're wrong. They've got 2 daughters, Harper who's 11 and Sloane who's 9, who my mom treats like royalty. My kids? Lucky to get a birthday text. My mom, Elaine, could smile while stabbing you and ask why you're bleeding. Throws elaborate parties for Melissa's girls. Weekend trips, constant bragging. But with AJ and Clem, it's, "You know I'm on a fixed budget, Lee." The waiter came over, young guy with a practiced smile that faltered, seeing how cramped we were. "Drinks?" Mom didn't look our way. "The girls will have their usual. Special pasta with truffle oil, extra parmesan, lavender lemonade for both. They always get that here." The waiter nodded, flipping to a new page. "And the other children?" He glanced at his notes. "Your mother told me they already ate." Kate's head snapped up. "I never said that." The waiter looked confused. "I was told by her," I said, nodding toward my mom. "Not us." The waiter's face went red. "I apologize. So should I take their order?" "You absolutely should," I said. "They're hungry." Mom laughed that musical laugh she uses before saying something cruel. "Lee, honestly, they can eat when they get home. These meals are expensive." She pulled 2 paper napkins from her purse, the cheap fast food kind, and tossed them across the table toward the twin. They landed between AJ and Clem. "Here, sweethearts. You can use these." AJ stared at them, confused. Clem's face went carefully blank. Daniel laughed loud enough that the next table looked over. "Should have planned ahead, man. Can't expect Grandma to feed everybody." Something cold settled in my chest. I turned to the twins. "What do you want? Pick anything on the menu." Ajay's eyes went wide. He looked at the menu, then at me. "Anything. Anything." He pointed to a picture. "The barbecue ribs with fries? Perfect." I looked at Clem. "What about you, sweet pea?" She studied the menu carefully. "Can I get the salmon with the rice?" "Absolutely." I turned to the waiter. Barbecue ribs with fries for him. Salmon and rice for her. Separate checks, mine and hers. Don't combine anything. Mom's face went tight. "Lee, that's over $30 per plate. And whatever it costs is fine," I said, looking right at her. "You don't get to budget my kids after buying truffle oil for yours." The waiter was trying not to smile. "I'll get that in right away, sir." Melissa was scrolling her phone, bored. Harper and Sloane kicked their feet, waiting for premium meals. The differential playing out in real time. "So," Mom said, pivoting, "about the trip we're planning." Kate stiffened. I knew what was coming. "We're taking Harper and Sloane to Disney World in October. 3 nights. Mom's treating." I looked at Mom. "You're taking your grandkids to Disney. A special treat for the girls," Mom said. "Ajay and Clem are your grandkids too," Kate said quietly. Mom waved her hand. "Oh, they'll go someday. But with your schedule, Lee, and the expense, you planned a family trip without telling us." "It's not a family trip. It's grandmother and granddaughters. I can't afford everyone. Food arrived. Elaborate plates for Harper and Sloan, pasta arranged like art, then ribs and salmon for AJ and Clem. The contrast brutal. A woman at the next table was watching, eyebrows up. Actually, Mom said, turning to Clem with syrupy sweetness, we were thinking Clem could come. Just one day. Magic Kingdom, princess dress. Clem looked at AJ, then back. What about AJ? Oh, honey, it's a girls' trip, Melissa said. AJ wouldn't want princess stuff. AJ went very quiet, picked up a fry and stared at it. Clem shook her head. If AJ isn't going, I'm not going either. Mom's smile cracked. Don't be silly. No thank you, Clem said, pushing her plate toward AJ's. We're twins. We do things together. See what you're teaching them? Melissa said to Kate, making them feel guilty for opportunities. Kate's hand tightened on her fork. Say that again, I said to Melissa. Slow. Daniel jumped in. Come on, man. Don't be sensitive. She's just saying the boy doesn't need to tag along everywhere. The boy has a name, I said. A J, named after his grandfather. Maybe try using it. Mom's face tightened. So you named him after her father. Interesting choice. That's my son, I said. Say his name correctly or don't say it at all. Tension hung thick. The woman at the next table had stopped eating entirely. Daniel leaned back. That boy is a handful because nobody disciplines him. I felt Kate start to stand. I put my hand on her arm. One more comment about my wife or my kids, I said, looking at each of them. And we leave. Mom sighed dramatically. Lee, you're making this into something. Melissa cut her off. Clem is sweet when she's quiet. Try to keep her like that. I stood up. Kate stood with me immediately. A J and Clem looked confused, but followed. Seriously? Melissa said. Making a scene? No scene, I said. Mom pulled out an envelope then, like she'd been waiting. Slid it to Harper and Sloan. Gift cards inside. $50 each, maybe more. A little something for being such good girls, she said. You brought gifts for some grandkids but not all? Kate asked. I didn't know Lee was bringing them, Mom said. You invited us, I said. I invited you and Kate. I assumed you'd get a sitter for something this nice. The waiter reappeared, probably hoping to diffuse things. Everything okay? Just the check, I said. Mine only. Separate. Lee, this is ridiculous, Mom said, voice rising. Just put it all on Lee's card. He's handling it. No, I said to the waiter. Separate checks. Mine has the kids' meals and 2 waters only. Nothing else. The waiter nodded quickly. I'll get that printed. While we waited, my phone buzzed. Text from Alvin. Everything okay? Joan has a bad feeling. I texted back. Coming to you after. Ice cream spot on 5th. The waiter returned fast. I signed my receipt, wrote paid only for my party at the bottom, folded my copy into my pocket. Documentation. As we walked out, Mom called after us. Lee, you're embarrassing me in front of everyone. I didn't turn around. Outside, AJ finally asked, did I do something wrong? I knelt down so I was eye level with both of them. Clem was trying not to cry. AJ looked worried. No, buddy, I said, pulling him close. You didn't do anything wrong. Neither of you did. Then why didn't Grandma order us food? AJ asked. Because Grandma made a choice, Kate said, voice shaky. And it wasn't about you. It was about her. Clem looked at me. Are we going to see her again? Too smart, this one. I don't know, Sweet Pea. But right now we're getting ice cream. A J perked up. Really? Really, I said. Biggest sundae they've got. With Grandma and Grandpa? Clem asked. They're meeting us there, Kate said. We drove to the ice cream place on 5th. Alvin and Joan's car was already in the lot. They met us at the door. Joan took one look at Kate's face and pulled her into a hug. Alvin knelt down to the twins. Who wants to help me pick out toppings? He asked. Me! AJ shouted. Clem took his hand. They went inside together. What happened? Joan asked once the twins were out of earshot. Kate told them. Everything. The napkins, the Disney trip, the Clem-only invitation, the gift cards. Alvin's face got darker with every detail. She handed them napkins, Joan said flatly. From her purse, I confirmed. And told the waiter they'd already eaten? Yep. Alvin shook his head. We should have been there. You're here now, I said. We went inside. Got the twins those elaborate sundaes they'd been promised. A J got chocolate sauce everywhere. Clem carefully constructed hers like architecture. Normal kid stuff. Alvin sat next to me while they ate. What are you going to do? I don't know yet, I said. But this can't happen again. No, he said. It can't. My phone buzzed. Text from Mom. I hope you're happy. You embarrassed me in front of everyone. The waiter asked if everything was okay. I had to lie and say yes. Call me tomorrow so we can discuss your behavior. I showed it to Alvin. He read it and said one word. No. No what? Don't call her. Don't engage. She's already rewriting what happened. He was right. I silenced Mom's contact and put the phone away. Dad, Clem said, chocolate on her chin. Can we come here again? Anytime you want, sweet pea. She smiled. Small, but real. When we got home that night, I sat in the twins' room while they got ready for bed. Watched AJ brush his teeth with his usual chaos. Watched Clem carefully arrange her stuffed animals. You're such a cutie, I said to Clem. How did I get this lucky? She grinned at me, toothpaste foam at the corner of her mouth. After they were asleep, Kate and I sat at the kitchen table. My phone kept buzzing. Group text thread I'd forgotten I was in. I opened it. 50 messages already. Melissa. Well, that was dramatic. Some people really know how to ruin a nice evening. I left the group. Just tapped exit and let them figure it out. Kate noticed. Good. My phone rang 2 days later. Aunt Debbie. I almost didn't answer, but she's the type who'll call until you pick up. Lee, she said, dripping disappointment. What were you thinking? Hi, Aunt Debbie. She didn't acknowledge it. Your mother is devastated. She planned that dinner to bring everyone together and you just walked out. She handed my kids paper napkins and told them to eat at home. You're exaggerating. She was trying to help. Restaurant food is expensive. She pre-ordered $150 meals for Melissa's kids. Pause. Well, I'm sure she didn't mean it like that. How did she mean it? Lee, she said, shifting tactics. Your mother raised you alone after your father passed. She deserves respect. This is how you treat her? There it was. The guilt trip. She told Clem she could come to Disney but not a Jay. Tried to split up my kids. Maybe she thought Clem would enjoy it more. They're 7. They're twins. You don't split them up. Silence. Then, quietly, you've changed, Lee. Ever since Kate, you've been distant. Kate didn't change me. She helped me see clearly. I hope your pride keeps you warm, Aunt Debbie said, because you're tearing this family apart. She hung up. Kate was in the doorway. Let me guess. You're the problem. Always. That night, my cousin Jenna called Kate. Melissa had posted on social media. Family doesn't always mean blood. Some people would rather play the victim than accept love, praying for those who choose bitterness over grace. Below it, dozens of comments. Mom had left a broken heart emoji with, "Thank you, sweetheart." A Jay saw it, Kate said quietly. He was looking over my shoulder. My stomach dropped. What did he say? Asked if Grandma was talking about us. I found AJ in his room, stacking blocks without his usual energy. Hey, goofball, I said, sitting next to him. He didn't look up. Did I make Grandma sad? No, I said firmly. You didn't do anything wrong. But she's sad, and we left. I pulled him onto my lap. Grandma's feelings are not your responsibility. You understand? You're 7. Your job is to be a kid. He was quiet. Then, I don't want to go to her house anymore. You don't have to. Later, Alvin came over. We sat on the back porch while Kate kept the twins busy inside. You need to set boundaries, he said. Legal one. Like what? No contact with the twins. Update their school pickup list. Send one message making it clear, then block everyone. That seems extreme. Is it? Alvin asked. She already tried to split them up. She's posting about you online. What's next? He was right. The next morning, I called the twins' school, updated the authorized pickup list, removed Elaine, Melissa, and Daniel, added Joan and Alvin. Can you make a note that if my mother shows up, she's not authorized under any circumstances? I asked Mrs. Albright, the principal. Of course. Is there a safety concern? Just a precaution, I said. After that, I sat down and wrote one message. Sent it to Mom, Melissa, and Daniel. Effective immediately. No contact with AJ or Clem. No attempts to pick them up from school or activities. No gifts left at our home or their school. No posts about them on social media. Further attempts will be documented and treated as harassment. I hit send, then blocked all 3 numbers. Kate read it over my shoulder. Think they'll respect it? No, I said. But now we have proof we set a boundary. I was right. 3 days later, Melissa called Kate from a borrowed phone. Kate, please, Mom is heartbroken. She doesn't understand what she did wrong. Can she at least see the twins for their birthday? Kate looked at me. I shook my head. No, Kate said. Lee was clear. This is ridiculous, Melissa said. She's their grandmother. Then she should have acted like it, Kate said, and hung up. She blocked that number too. The next Wednesday afternoon, I was on a call with a client when the doorbell rang. Once, then repeatedly, insistent. Kate answered it. I heard her voice rise. Elaine, you need to leave. I ended my call and went to the door. Mom was standing on our porch, arms full of gift bags, mascara running. Lee, please, she said. I just want to talk. I don't understand what I did wrong. You need to leave, I said. I'm their grandmother. I have a right. No, I said. You don't. I sent you a no-contact message. You're violating it. That's ridiculous. You can't keep me from my grandchildren. Watch me. She tried to push past me into the house. I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. I brought gifts, she said, holding up the bags. For both of them, see? I'm trying. I could see through the tissue paper. A stuffed unicorn in one bag, a toy truck in the other. You're violating a boundary I set. Lee, please, let's just talk about this. I'll apologize. Whatever you need. What I need is for you to leave my property. Her face changed then. Tears stopped. Expression hardened. You're going to regret this, she said quietly. If you're not gone in 60 seconds, I'm calling the police for trespassing. She stared at me, waited, testing. I pulled out my phone and started dialing. She left, dropped the gift bags on the porch, and walked to her car. But before she got in, she turned back. This isn't over. I brought the bags inside. Kate looked at them. Should we give them to the twins? She asked. They're not from Grandma, I said. They're from someone who violated a boundary. But the kids can have them if they want. Later, the twins opened them together. Clem immediately handed AJ the truck, then said she'd share the unicorn with him. So it's fair, she said. I called Alvin, told him what happened. You need to document this, he said. Write down what she said, when she showed up, everything. And if she does it again, call the police immediately. Don't warn her. Just call. You think it'll come to that? I think she's going to escalate until someone stops her, Alvin said. He was right, but I didn't know how right until 2 weeks later. That's when I got the call about the trust fund. George, attorney, my father's old lawyer. Mr. Walker, I've been trying to reach you regarding your father's trust fund. My correspondence seems to have gone unanswered. I never received anything, I said. Long pause. That's concerning. You're listed as primary contact alongside Melissa. The trust was established with instructions that all parties be kept informed. What kind of trust? Your father set up a fund for his grandchildren. $240,000. To be distributed equally once they turn 18, or earlier for documented educational needs. My chest tightened. And who's the trustee? Your mother, Elaine. How much has been distributed? Another pause. Approximately $85,000 over 4 years. All to Melissa for Harper and Sloan. And AJ and Clem? Nothing. I sat down. Nothing? Correct? Which is why I'm calling. Your father's intent was clear that all 4 grandchildren receive equal benefit. I have concerns about the administration. What would I need to do? Document the distributions. Prove intent to favor certain beneficiaries. If there's a pattern, that's grounds for trustee removal. After I hung up, I just sat there. Kate found me 20 minutes later, still in my office chair, staring at nothing. What's wrong? My dad left a trust fund for the grandkids, I said. $240,000. Mom's been approving withdrawals for Melissa's kids. $85,000 so far. Ajay and Clem have gotten nothing, and I was never told it existed. Kate sat down slowly. She stole from them. Yeah, she did. That's when I stopped playing defense and started playing offense. I took the next day off and spread every document George sent across the kitchen table. Trust formation papers, my father's will, disbursement logs. Everything dated, signed, and very clearly pointing in the same direction. Kate made coffee and sat across from me. Walk me through it. Dad set this up when Harper was born. $240,000 meant to be split equally among all grandchildren. Mom's the trustee. She's supposed to use discretion, not favoritism. I showed her the logs. 4 years ago, Melissa requested $20,000 for Harper's private school. Approved. 2 years later, another $20,000 for Sloan. Then, $25,000 for extracurricular development, which is when they went to that Vermont arts program. $12,000 per kid. Kate blinked. She used trust money meant for all 4 kids to send hers to summer camp. And there's more. I held up a sheet. $5,000 in trustee administrative reimbursement, straight into Mom's personal account. Is that even legal? Only with real documentation. George says there's none. I rubbed my temples. He's been trying to reach me for 2 years. The trust still had my old college address, and Mom updated it to hers. Convenient, Kate muttered. I opened my laptop. I'm building a case. George mentioned a clause about removing a trustee for favoritism. I found it. If a trustee distributes more than 60% of funds to less than 50% of beneficiaries within 5 years, they can be removed. I did the math. $85,000. 100% to Melissa's kids. 0 to AJ and Clem. I can petition to have her removed, I said. Kate exhaled. Will it work? I don't know. But Dad made this clause really specific. He must have been paranoid about favoritism. I called Paul Martinez, the consultant who'd helped set up the trust 11 years ago. He remembered my father immediately. Tom was clear, he said. He didn't want one grandchild to feel worth less than another. I can put that in writing. Over the next week, I gathered everything. Disbursement records, bank statements, screenshots of Melissa bragging online about Vermont, and other expensive activities. I created a timeline tying every withdrawal to Melissa. I added recent incidents too: the restaurant humiliation, the Disney announcement excluding AJ, the doorstep ambush. Every pattern, every slight. Alvin and Joan came over Sunday. "What can we do?" Alvin asked. "I might need witnesses." Joan nodded. "We'll testify. We've seen how she treats those babies." I met with a lawyer, Denise Park, the next week. She flipped through my binder like she already knew the ending. "This is straightforward," she said. "The favoritism is blatant. The clause is clear. You have standing. What happens to my mother? If the court finds a breach of duty, she's removed. A neutral trustee steps in, and depending on what the audit shows, she may owe restitution. And if she fights, then she fights. But Lee, if she's siphoned funds, this could border on criminal." "File it," I said. 2 weeks later, Mom was served. I knew because Melissa left a voicemail from a borrowed phone, spitting venom. "Lee, what the fuck? You sued Mom, your own mother, over money?" She's in tears. She can barely breathe. "You're destroying this family. Because you're jealous? Grow up." I saved it. Evidence of harassment. That night, Mom called Kate, crying about how she'd only tried to help. Kate hung up and said, "She almost sounds sincere." "Years of practice," I said. The hearing was set for 6 weeks out. The court appointed Patricia Hoffman, a retired accountant, to audit everything. 2 weeks in, she called. "Mr. Walker, the disbursements are 100% to your sister's children. No documentation for need, no justification for withholding from yours, and the trustee reimbursement is unsupported. If your mother refuses bank records, that counts against her. You think we have a case? You have a very strong case." But Mom wasn't done. A letter arrived from attorney Richard Marks. Polished, threatening. They warned they'd pursue legal fees from the trust assets, essentially draining the fund to fight me. Kate read it. "They're trying to scare you." I called Denise. She snorted. "They're bluffing. If the court finds a breach, she pays, not the trust." 2 days later, Aunt Debbie arrived unannounced, wringing her hands about tearing the family apart. "Dad left that money for all his grandchildren equally," I said. Mom ignored that. "Family forgives. I'm done pretending everything's fine." She left saying she didn't know me anymore. Perfect. 3 days before the hearing, I got a LinkedIn message from someone I barely remembered. Lindsay Pierce, a friend of Melissa's from college. She'd overheard Mom and Melissa at brunch. Melissa joked about moving money before the audit finds it. Mom mentioned routing things through her dentist for clean paperwork. I sent it to Denise. "This is huge," she said. "Get a notarized statement." Lindsay agreed without hesitation. "What they're doing to you and your kids isn't right." The night before the hearing, I sat at the kitchen table staring at the paperwork, thinking of Aunt Debbie saying Dad would be disappointed. But then I remembered Paul's words. Dad didn't want any grandchild to feel worth less. Ajay and Clem deserved the same protection Harper and Sloan had quietly enjoyed for years. And if going to court was what it took, then I'd go. Kate found me at 2 in the morning. "Come to bed," she whispered. "I just don't want to miss anything." "You've done everything you can," she said, sitting beside me. "And if we lose, at least the twins will know we fought." She rested her head on my shoulder. The house was quiet, heavy, but peaceful. "Tomorrow," I said. "Mom finally faces consequences." Kate squeezed my hand. "Tomorrow." The courthouse was all marble and echoing footsteps. Kate held my hand through security. Denise met us in the hallway. "Ready?" "As I'll ever be." Mom was already inside. I saw her through the door window. She looked smaller somehow. Richard Marks sat beside her in an expensive suit. Melissa wasn't there, supporting from a distance. We took our seats. The bailiff called order. The judge entered, a woman in her 50s with sharp eyes. "We're here regarding petition 472-B, the Walker Family Trust. Petitioner, proceed." Denise stood. "Your Honor, we're requesting removal of Elaine Walker as trustee on grounds of breach of fiduciary duty, unequal distribution, and failure to comply with the trust's stated purpose." She walked the judge through everything. The trust documents, Paul Martinez's statement about my father's intent, the disbursement records showing $85,000 to Melissa's children, while AJ and Clem got nothing, the suspicious trustee reimbursement, Lindsay Pierce's witness statement about Mom and Melissa discussing moving money. Additionally, Your Honor, we have testimony from witnesses who observed a pattern of favoritism. The judge looked at Mom. "Mrs. Walker, your response." Richard Marks argued good faith, educational expenses, discretion. "Did she ask?" The judge interrupted. "Did Mrs. Walker ask Mr. Lee Walker if his children had educational needs?" "No, Your Honor." Patricia Hoffman presented her findings. 100% of disbursements to one set of beneficiaries, no documentation, redirected mail. The judge's expression hardened. "Mrs. Walker, your son had a right to be informed about assets meant for his children. By withholding that information, you denied him the ability to advocate for them. I didn't mean to. Your intentions don't change the outcome. Here's my ruling. Effective immediately, Elaine Walker is removed as trustee. Patricia Hoffman is appointed. All disbursements frozen until a forensic audit is completed. If the audit reveals misappropriated funds, Mrs. Walker will make restitution. The judge wasn't done. Your job was to honor your late husband's wishes. You turned it into a tool for favoritism. That's a betrayal of trust in every sense. Mr. Marks, your client pays her own legal fees. She banged her gavel. As we left, Mom stopped us in the hallway. Lee, how could you do this to me? I felt nothing. You did this to yourself. In the car, Kate exhaled. It's really over. For now. Alvin and Joan were waiting with the twins. Ice cream on AJ's face, Clem asking careful questions. I told her things would be fair now. That night, I slept through for the first time in weeks. 6 weeks later, Patricia Hoffman called. Ahead of schedule. Mr. Walker, I've completed the forensic audit. Sending the full report to your attorney, but wanted to give you a heads up. It's worse than we thought. I sat down. How much worse? Total misappropriated funds come to $93,000. That includes the $85,000 to your sister's children, the $5,000 trustee reimbursement, and another $3,000 in undocumented expenses your mother claimed as trust-related. What kind of expenses? Travel to visit your sister, meals during those visits, hotel stay when she attended one of your niece's performances, all charged to the trust as beneficiary oversight costs. I felt sick. She was using trust money to visit Melissa's family. Yes, and there's more. The dental procedure billed under your son's initials? I traced it. The check memo line read, AJ Dental, like it was for your son. The dentist confirms no procedure was performed for anyone in your family, but he received payment from the trust. He deposited the check and wrote a personal check back to your mother for the same amount within 3 days. She laundered the money. That's what it looks like. The court will decide if it rises to fraud, but it's definitely improper. I'm recommending full restitution plus penalties. After hanging up, I sat in my car in the parking lot trying to process it. My mom hadn't just been unfair. She'd been actively stealing. Denise filed the restitution motion that afternoon. Court set a hearing for 3 weeks out. That night, Melissa called from an unknown number. Lee, it's Melissa. I almost hung up. How'd you get this number? Doesn't matter, we need to talk. No, we don't. Lee, listen. The audit is bullshit. Mom didn't do anything wrong. Those expenses were legitimate. $93,000 worth? Silence. Then, you're really going to make her pay that back? The court is, not me. She doesn't have that kind of money. She's on fixed income. You're going to bankrupt her. Should have thought of that before she stole from my kids. She didn't steal. She's the trustee. She had discretion, past tense. Now she has nothing. You're such an asshole, Melissa said. Always have been. Always acting like you're better than everyone. I need to go. This isn't over. You think winning in court means you won? You just destroyed your relationship with your entire family. Was it worth it? I hung up. Blocked the number. Kate had heard. She's panicking. Good. But things escalated. Kate showed me a Facebook post with audit screenshots. Lee Walker's vendetta against his own mother. Comments calling me heartless. Aunt Debbie sharing it. I sent it to Denise. She filed to remove it for violating court privacy rules, but the damage was done. That night, AJ asked why people thought I was mean to my mom. 2 days later, the school called. Mom had shown up trying to pick up the twins. Security removed her after she caused a scene. I called Denise. You need a protective order, she said. As far as it takes. We sat the twins down that evening. Alvin and Joan were there. We need to talk about Grandma Elaine, I said. She's been making bad choices. She's not allowed to pick you up from school anymore. If you see her, tell a teacher right away. Is she in trouble? Clem asked. Yes. Did she do something bad? AJ asked. She did. She took money that was supposed to be for you. Clem processed this. Then quietly, did she do it because she doesn't like us? I pulled her onto my lap, my sweet pea. This has nothing to do with you or your brother. Grandma has problems that are hers alone. You didn't cause them and you can't fix them. She nodded against my chest. A jay climbed up too. We sat there, all 4 of us tangled together. Later, Kate said, what if she shows up here again? Then I called the police. Just like that? Just like that. She nodded. But I could see she was scared. So was I. Because I knew my mom. When she felt cornered, she didn't retreat. She attacked. The next few weeks were tense. I filed for a temporary protective order against Mom using the school incident, the doorstep ambush, and the no-contact directive she'd violated. The court granted it. 500 feet. No contact, direct or indirect. The restitution hearing concluded with the court ordering Mom to repay $93,000 over 5 years. Melissa went ballistic on social media about her elderly mother being financially destroyed by her own son. I saved it. Mom violated the protective order once, called Kate from a blocked number, crying, begging for a chance to explain. We reported it. The judge made the order permanent and gave her a warning. After that, silence. The twins' 8th birthday came. We celebrated at home with Alvin, Joan, and friends from school. AJ got the biggest Lego set I could find. Clem got art supplies and a new bike. No drama. Just cake and laughter. Kate's parents had become our full-time family. Joan helped with carpools. Alvin taught AJ how to throw a football, took Clem to the hardware store to pick paint for her room. They were there. Actually there. This is what family's supposed to look like, Kate said one night, watching her dad and AJ play catch. I nodded. December came. The twins were in a school holiday program. We sat in the audience with Alvin and Joan, while AJ and Clem performed in a chorus that was objectively terrible, but somehow perfect. Afterward, we went to Alvin and Joan's house. They'd hosted Thanksgiving, and it had become tradition. We were in their living room, twins hyped on hot chocolate, when Alvin said, "Lee, can I talk to you?" We stepped into his study. "What's up?" Patricia Hoffman called. Wanted me to pass along a message. The final audit is complete. Trust has been restructured. All 4 grandkids now have equal allocations, locked accounts that can't be touched until 18 unless there's documented emergency, approved by the new trustee. That's good. There's more. Melissa tried to petition for access to Harper and Sloane's funds, said they needed it for school. Patricia denied it, told her previous withdrawals were excessive, and no additional funds would be released until the girls turned 18. I felt grim satisfaction. How'd that go? About how you'd expect, Melissa called Patricia everything but her name, threatened to sue. Patricia hung up. I almost smiled. Also, Alvin said, pulling out a folder, Joan and I wanted to give you these. Inside were documents for custodial investment accounts, one for AJ, one for Clem, both with starting balances of $15,000. Dad, you can't. We already did, Alvin said firmly. Those kids are our grandchildren. We're making sure they know they matter. I didn't know what to say. Just hugged him. Back in the living room, Joan was helping Clem with a puzzle. AJ was showing Kate a drawing. Stick figures of our family. Me, Kate, AJ, Clem, and Alvin and Joan labeled Grandma and Grandpa. Look at this, goofball, I said, pulling him close. It's perfect. Can we hang it on the fridge? Absolutely. We left around 8, drove home in comfortable silence. Twins half asleep. You think it's really over? Kate asked. I don't know, but we're okay either way. But I was wrong. 2 weeks later, everything escalated again. Alvin and Joan were hosting a small Christmas gathering. Nothing fancy, just us, Joan's sister and family, a couple neighbors, low-key. Alvin had set up a fire pit in the backyard. The twins were roasting marshmallows with cousins. Kate and I were helping Joan with dessert when Alvin came through the back door. His face was tight. Lee. Situation. I followed him to the front. Through the window, I could see a car in the driveway. Mom's car. She wasn't alone. Melissa and Daniel were with her. They just pulled up, Alvin said. Tried to walk to the backyard. I stopped them at the gate. I'll handle it. No, Alvin said firmly. This is my house. I'll handle it. You stay with Kate and the kids. But I was already heading for the door. They were at the gate to the backyard. Mom had a gift bag in each hand. Melissa was on her phone, probably recording. Daniel stood behind them, looking bored. Lee, Mom said when she saw me. Tears started immediately. Please, it's Christmas. I just want to see my grandchildren. Give them their presents. You're not welcome here. I'm their grandmother. I have a right. You have a court order, Alvin said, stepping forward. 500 feet. You're violating it right now. Mom looked at Alvin. This doesn't concern you. It's my house. You need to leave. I'm not leaving until I see them. Alvin called the police. Mom tried to push past him to the gate. Daniel and Melissa protested, but Alvin stood his ground. A patrol car arrived. The officer confirmed the protective order, told Mom she was in violation and needed to leave immediately. Mom's victim act dropped. Her face went cold. You'll regret this, she said to me. I already don't. After they left, we checked on the twins. Still in the backyard, laughing over marshmallows. Oblivious. They have no idea, Kate said. Good. The next morning, Denise called. The judge wants to see your mother next week. Repeat violation. She's looking at contempt charges. The hearing was quick. The judge sentenced Mom to 15 days in jail and extended the protective order to 3 years. Melissa lost it in the courtroom. Had to be removed by security, screaming about injustice. I felt nothing watching it, just relief. Kate and I left without looking back. That afternoon, we took the twins to the park. Ajay tried to do a cartwheel that was more falling sideways. Clem went higher on the swings than I'd ever seen. You're such a cutie, I called to her. How did I get this lucky? She grinned and pumped her legs harder. That night, I sat in their room watching them sleep. A jay sprawled out, covers kicked off. Clem curled up with the unicorn she'd shared with her brother. Kate stood in the doorway. You okay? Yeah, we're okay. The house was quiet, the kind of quiet that feels like peace instead of waiting. Just us, just family. And somewhere out there, my dad was probably smiling. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel and help us bring you more and better stories. Thanks.